sister, won't you lay and take your rest? Won't you lay your head upon my Savior's breast? 'Cause I love you, but Jesus loves you the best. And I bid you good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night.
One of these mornings bright and early and high.
Good night, good night.
Not a cricket, not a soul to slow me down.
Good night,
Good night,
good night.
well, I'll be walking in the valley of the shadow of death.
Good night,
Good night,
good night.
And his rod and his staff will comfort me.
Good night,
Oh, tell me when it's other side.
good night,
Oh, just say I've seen a number sign.
good night, good night. And tell them A for the heart and a wonderful boat. Good night, good night. You know they're building them land, getting water to flow. Good night, good night. And tell them B for the beast at the ending of the wood. Good night, good night.
You know they ate all the children when they wouldn't be good.
Good night, good night.
I remember quite well, I remember quite well.
Good night, good night.
I was walking in Jerusalem just like John.
Good night, good night. I was walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night, good night, good. See you again soon. Thanks for coming out. Great. From the band of Joy. Patty Griffin, Darryl Scott, Marco Giovino, Buddy Miller, and a big one, but Byron House on bass guitar. Thanks. Good night.